And good morning. I'm certain it's Tuesday because I double-checked myself. You ever find yourself waking up not real sure which day of the week it is? It happens. I double-checked myself several times. Today is the 9th day of August. School is back in. Watch school buses as they are rolling now throughout our area. Be careful on your way into work. We do hope you're having a good morning. Lots to talk about of what went on over the last 24 hours. A few storms rolled through late yesterday afternoon. It was a lot of rain, wasn't it? We have a 40% chance of more storms today, basically after 10 o'clock. We do have some smidgen of a chances between 9 and 10, but the majority of that will roll in after 10 o'clock sometime. High today only around 90, so that's where we rely on that. No heat index for once. They're not saying it's going to be 105 today. It'll be less than 100. We'll word it that way. We'll watch it closely, let you know what happens with the weather. Sometimes even a 40% chance can produce a thunderstorm, as we all know, that rattles the window on the house, so to speak. Had several wrecks yesterday due to that. We'll look at one that happened in Clarke County. Tree fell. Boy, a few of those happened. How are you today? I hope well. Well, one of the lead stories as we're waking up this morning is a robbery that occurred last night. This would happen, just about 9:30 last night. As we go here to take a look at Sam Media, you can find this on our webpage here, right here. Exxon robbed on Highway 19 North last night. That was the scene. That's what happened as a black male entered the store with a gun and robbed the place. As we go back to take a look at this, we pull this up. As we look a bit closer here, this is the scene here about 9:30 last night. Cops were there. It was a lone gunman. He did not hurt anyone. It was an undetermined amount of cash that was stolen. Now, as we look at this map, let's pull this up where you can see this, make sure we're all on the same page. As you're coming down Highway 19, if you're leaving town, this would be just past the Tractor Supply store, right here at North Hills, the Exxon on the corner there. It's getting to be a common occurrence, but this is not the same group that's been robbing the stores in the past. This was a lone man. Most likely someone different than what's been robbing and breaking all of the doors in. That's a group of four, the ones that robbed the Exxon, the stores in Lauderdale, and there was another store that was robbed. It'll come to me and just say, well, we've had two of those, and then plenty of these where they power bandits, where they bust out the power and come in. That's the scene. Thank goodness no one was hurt. I'm sure it shook up the Clarke quite a bit there. That's the news that's coming in from that last night. As we start looking around of other news that happened last night, we did get reports of gunshots up Highway 39 as we pulled this up. This will be right in the area here, Highway 19, as you'll look at this near Timber Ridge Road last night. No injuries reported, but some gunshots heard in the area between there and Windmill Drive, up to that red light there that would turn into the backside of the subdivision. Again, no one was hurt, thank heavens. We're tickled over that. We also had reports of gunfire last night on Grandview Avenue. As we pull this up to take a little bit closer look, right in the area here, toward 33rd Street, Grandview, and between Country Club Drive down through here, shots were heard in this area. This is what would take you to give you to see where you're at here. This is Highway 39. This is Walmart. If you turn right through here, back in this area, right in here is where we heard gunshots. Now, this has been increasingly a lot lately. We're seeing more crime in that area, more gunshots. I wouldn't necessarily say, let me back up on that and say crime. We did see last week, if you'll remember, right here was the scene of a gunshot, a car that was shot up, and police chased the person right up through 10th Avenue in this area. But we're increasingly getting more and more reports of gunfire and activity in this area. So if you live in this area of Meridian 33rd, Grandview, 36th Street, you well know what I'm talking about. You hear the gunshots and things going on at night. Again, if that community of this section does not have a neighborhood watch program, suggest getting one together. Keep your neighbors informed of what's going on down through there because it's been a lot of activity. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, I understand, was involved in a foot chase last night. And you say, well, why would the county be in a foot chase in the city limits of Meridian? Well, that happens when you notice a car is stolen. Whoa. And again, I can't stress how many times in the course of a week cars are stolen and recovered. It's an ongoing cycle. Very, very hard to track with some of these cars being, as you find out that a car has been stolen, a lot of times it's just that a payment had been made. And the repossession guys show up with the record and take it in the middle of the night and they think it's been stolen. But this was definitely a stolen car. As we find out more about this, and hopefully today we will, these were taken from Bowers Auto. It was 2 cars taken. One of these was spotted as we pull this up on 23rd, 41st Avenue. Foot chase happened. They ran away. I want to say that each one of these guys had guns as well. They did slip into the darkness and get away last night. Car was recovered. That's a start, isn't it? But again, lock your cars as much as you can. And again, this does not make it to where someone's not going to take your car. They sit around all day and study how to take them. What's the quickest way in a car and to get away with it? Most of these can be done within a couple of minutes. Watch it. We'll keep you up to date on that as best we can because it is a lot of that goes on. Names have been released. We released this last night. If you haven't had a chance to read that, the Meridian Police Department has released the names of the victims of the murders from over the weekend. DeJohn Huggins, 24, who was killed on Friday night, who you will remember was found inside a car on 22nd Avenue, who was shot. Also within that next 24-hour period, DeMarco Jimerson, 31, would also be identified as our second victim that was killed on State Boulevard Extension. How horrifying that this continues in our communities. It does, and we await. This is an ongoing investigation. I don't think at this point they have a lot of leads they're investigating, and a lot of this goes down to people that do see things. Go, didn't see a thing. Nope, I was looking the other way. Couldn't have seen anything. Why? Because they're scared. They don't want retaliation for telling what they've seen. A lot of people understand that. But it doesn't get the crime solved, does it? No, it does not. We also, yesterday afternoon, if you were on coming in on Front Street Meridian and you heard gunshots, well, you did hear gunshots. They happened yesterday. As we pulled the map up for you to take a closer look at this, shots were fired at Highway Village and a car was hit. It could have been the scene of a lot worse. I've had different reports. I hadn't gotten an official report as to why. But we do know that shots were fired. A car was hit. Rumor is that someone was shooting at someone and they missed him. Thank goodness for that. But that was the scene of that. About 5 or 6 shots were squeezed off. Meridian Police Department arrived to handle the situation, is what happened yesterday. A lot of activity going on yesterday. Also, another big thing was I started getting reports of what in the world is going on at Walmart. There's cops. There are fire trucks everywhere. Even somebody guessed that it was somebody that had deceased. It was not. As we pull this up, and I spoke with the Meridian Fire Department, as we dig deeper into this, what happened here, this was an electrical issue that happened at the rear of Walmart. Something popped, something exploded in. If you were standing in line, we got a lot of reports of people saying they were standing there and could not get waited on at Walmart. This is on top of the hill next to Lowe's. They had some type of electrical issue in the back that popped, and it caused everything to go down momentarily. Within the hour, things were back up and running again. Didn't make you feel any better if you were standing there in line ready to go home, did it? But thank heavens it was nothing more than that. It did have some smoke come bowling out the back window, as we all know how electrical fire can do. Nothing major, smoked a little bit, and all went back to normal. Now, as I mentioned, Clarke County yesterday afternoon, southern Lauderdale County, but really further into northern, that northern portion there, as you got into Clarke County yesterday afternoon, those of you who were watching, boy, it was a rainstorm come down in buckets of rain. I got several pictures of 2.5 inches fell in that short period of time there in Clarke County. And as we go to this would be on County Road 473, just off Highway 45. As we look at this comes from Clarke County Hot Topics. Gentleman in the lawn care service was tootling along in his Tahoe, or Yukon, I guess you could say, and a tree fell on him. That could have turned out a whole lot. Look at that water coming down. It could have been a whole lot worse. So thank heavens that's all it was to it. But major damage to his vehicle, and You just don't see stuff like that coming. Y'all would be shocked with the statistics, and I don't have it laying in front of me, of just how many people are killed each year from falling trees on highways. And that's why it's always, if the wind's blowing real hard and it's bad, to just wait it out. You either run into a tree or one can fall on you. High winds, it's dangerous. Just keep that in mind as you're out and about traveling. We also had an accident yesterday afternoon about the same time as we pull this up to take a look here. This is going to be out on Zero Road. Anybody out in that neighborhood? Had a crash there. Thank heavens that everybody ended up being okay. I think the young lady was transported to the hospital, but a scary scene nonetheless, especially if you were involved in that as we look around of what went on yesterday afternoon. And that's that curve. As we go back to this and look at this, if you're here right before we get to the Long Creek ball field and where the fire department is, it's that sharp curve right there is where that happened. Roads get slick. Next thing you know, you've lost control. But again, fortunately, no major injuries with that. Now, we go back to Clarke County. This could have been a whole lot different. I think some people were rushed to the hospital over that. I don't know the extent of the injuries. But as we go to Highway 18 West, and we go back to Clarke County Hot Topics to get our lead story on this morning, and I want you to look at this. I don't know who's involved or whose fault it was. As you can see, it looks as though the dump truck is a little bit over the line. The log truck is in the edge of the road. Look at this of just how horrifying this is. Again, this is Highway 18 West in Clarke County yesterday. As you can see, the dump truck in this lane, we don't know for sure what happened there. One can only assume. I haven't gotten the official report from troopers that were there, but that was the scene. Dangerous. It's a miracle someone wasn't killed in that. Had it been a big truck and a small car, I think we would be looking at some type of different scene this morning, wouldn't we? But everyone walked away from that at the end of the day. And that's the good news on that. You never know, and always, and y'all mark my word, when you leave home, you never know what's going to happen. Just always be prepared, face each day, put a smile on, and be good at what we do. As we look here, let me make sure. Let's see here. Let's go to Neshoba County. Now, a few of the comments, people were saying they don't need to be picking on people, but the law is the law. I don't see it as picking on people if you're breaking the law. As we look at this, an arrest was made in Neshoba County for growing marijuana right up in the front yard where you could see it from the road. Right next to the tomatoes. As you can see, let's make that picture a little bit taller, bigger there for you. Can you see that a little bit better? That's marijuana plants. No matter how you shake it, that's still against the law. That's not miracle marijuana. It's not being done for that. It was for purposes for themselves. I want to say a 66-year-old man has been arrested in connection with this. As we go down and read this, Ricky Fowles was arrested in this in the Preston area, 67-year-old white male. You can't just grow marijuana where you want to. Not in the state of Mississippi, you don't do that. An arrest has been made as we look at that. We look at Hattiesburg as we expand right outside of Meridian, and this happened late Sunday night. I didn't get the information quick enough, but we've all done this. You've seen on the side of the road a car broke down and left. Well, this could turn ugly before it's all over. A car was traveling that way, and you only assume that they looked down and they hit the parked car on the edge of the road, which caused an 18-wheeler to hit them when they struck that. That person was killed. That's I-59 right outside of Hattiesburg where that happened late Sunday night. A few changes to Mississippi State if you're going to be going up there, up near the traffic. As I've talked about this at President's Circle, they put up gates. They're going to cut back traffic. You'd have to be a teacher or have a pass to get through there. They're trying to make it where students can walk more freely without being bumped by cars. So expect delays, and you'll have to go around that area at President's Circle there at Mississippi State if you're going to be going up there in the next few weeks. Just be aware of that. Jackson County in Mississippi, a body has been found behind a home. They don't know much more than that at this point. An investigation has been launched. Scary. When we get more on that, we'll talk about that as well. We look around and we go to, where do we go next? Pascagoula. Man's been charged with the shooting death of a 68-year-old man. He was 45 years old, the man that shot him. He's been arrested. It happened around 7:40 on Monday night. They caught him not far from there. He ran. Police pulled up about the time that it happened. He was caught, and he's been arrested. We see this more and more often across everywhere. It's not just Meridian, do we? Let's see. We go to Jones County, which is due south of here. And this will happen everywhere eventually, to where somebody breaks into a home. Now, no one died in this, but as each of us get up every day, we work hard. You protect what's yours, don't you? And there's a lot of people in the state of Mississippi that exercise their Second Amendment right. Gentleman was at home. Someone broke in his house, and what did he do? He shot at him, hit him in the arm. They were taken to the hospital, and then after they were treated, they were immediately arrested. They were hit in the arm. They should be thankful that it wasn't worse than that. Depends on where you're aiming, but we'll see more and more of that. I don't see how any of them get away with breaking in a home these days as many people do exercise that right in our state. Becky, you're right. People aren't too smart from time to time. Have mercy. LaWanda says she wants some rain. Still dry where she is. We got a 40% chance that it's going to continue to grow up in chances. Go up in chances. I'm all tongue twisted. It's kind of early. We'll go over the forecast in a moment. I may have mentioned this yesterday, but it's worth mentioning once again because a life is precious. As we all know, we lost one in the Meridian area not long ago, a week or so ago, in an accident. No charges have been filed in that, as we learned that a young lady that was 36 years old lost her life in Meridian. We go to Simpson County next, Highway 13. Another young lady has lost her life on a motorcycle wreck. As the police word it, car versus motorcycle. It was a motorcycle involved with a car. She had her helmet on, the whole 9 yards. It's just very, very hard to walk away from an accident involving a car and a motorcycle. Condolences go out to her. Elisa Wood, she was 29 years old. That is, again, in Simpson County, Mississippi, where that took place. I want to read this next story. I don't know all the details, but there's more to it than meets the eye, I'm sure. Brookhaven, the police chief, and the city's being sued by a former detective. I don't know the police chief very well. I don't know why and what all is going on behind the scenes, but he seems like a pretty good old boy. And he put out a note yesterday, and this is what he put this to Facebook as he tries to describe the situation. It says, and it's from the Brookhaven Police Department, message to the community. A group has been working together to try to destroy me in our town. They always underestimate the love and strength of Brookhaven. I have waited on responding to the media so all the poison could rise so that the community could see them. Facts matter, and I look forward to my day in court. I have a story for them. A great storm arose as Jesus lay asleep in the boat with the disciples. The disciples were afraid and awoke Jesus. Then all Jesus did was speak, "Peace be still," and the storm was over. Brookhaven, Jesus is in this town, and no weapon form will defeat us. Sincerely, Chief Collins. So he's not talking about what happens until it goes to court. And again, it's with a former police officer that was there. We'll wait to see what happens in Brookhaven. Pretty strong words from the police chief. We'll see what happens there. Let me see here. Let me make sure that, let's see here. I just got word that we've got a wreck at Delwood. A car is flipped over on the water on the East Parkway south side. Let's see. I got to speak. They've got authorities on the way now, is what I'm reading here. And apparently, a power pole or something has been hit. EMEPA is en route to take care of the problem. We'll know more about this in just a moment. But again, if you're waking up, you're in the Delwood area, just getting word that Delwood, a vehicle, is flipped over on the waterway on the East Parkway South is the way it's worded. So hopefully we'll learn more about this in just a few moments here, and we'll post that and get that along to you, making sure I don't have any other remarks about this. No, we don't. So, Delwood, wreck, possible power outage, and we'll check that in just a moment on the EMEPA site to make sure all is well there. Horrifying for a wreck this early in the day. We're not listing anything from EMEPA yet, but it's still early. Could have just happened there. Sad news as we look at some national headlines this morning. As we all know, one of our favorites, Olivia Newton John, has passed away. 73 years old. You'll remember her from I Honestly Love You, Please Mr. Please, Don't Play What, B-17. It was our song, his song. A great actress, a sweetheart. She has died from breast cancer. Again, she was 73 years old. And regardless of those who knew her and those who watched us that knew she was sick, it's still heartbreaking to lose someone to such a disease as this. Condolences to her family and friends and all the fans. She was such a likable person. Can't help but like her, and she played that part very well, didn't she? The other headline that you will see this morning, and you can't, I think in the end, this will backfire. But at the end, they always have a plan. As supporters swarmed last night, Mar-a-Lago, Florida, as Donald Trump's home was raided, as we all know about this. Why did they do this? Never in the history of the United States has a former president's home been raided. And it happened yesterday. But as we dig deeper into this might be an indication as to why. As you keep seeing polls as he grows stronger and stronger, Trump could be banned from holding a public office if he is found guilty of mishandling classified White House records. Now, if you'll remember, it's all speculation at this point that he had some boxes. It's been done before. People leave with boxes, and it takes a while to get them back that are classified, that they want it back for the National Archives. As we look at this, we can only assume that this might be the plan on that, where if they could charge him with this, he wouldn't be able to run. We don't know that. Everything is speculation at this point because there's not much been released on this. But that says you start looking through the weeds to see what's going on. More will come out of this. It's just hard to believe that that could be done, that it could not be worked out in a different manner. But we have seen is, in most cases, anybody that's associated with him, they show up with CNN and many others with cameras, and they kick in the door and go in and take what they want. Instead of calling and going, hey, we're coming over. We all think that that could have been handled a little bit differently as we look at headlines this morning. Your weather is next, and we'll dig deeper into all this morning beginning at 8, so don't rush off. All on the way here. Good morning to you from all of us here at the Scotty Ray Report. As we begin today, let's take a look at that forecast here in just a moment as we begin today. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk. As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South, 601-693-4054. Welcome back as we begin this Tuesday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Welcome. As we're looking now at 72 this morning as we wait for a high to be about 90. Rain chances are in the forecast. And, well, let's get into that deeper forecast and see what we've got going on.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we look at our record highs, our record lows, back in 1935 on this date, 103 was the record high. 1990 must have been a cool week for us. It was 56 degrees on this day back in 90. Time has flown, has it not? 32 years ago. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. Showers today, and it looks as though the Meridian area and south will have more of a chance of rain as we look at what the National Weather Service tells us this morning as we get into that. 93 in Laurel, we get up to the Columbus area as well, about 93. Out to our west, 94 in Jackson. As we look across, Alabama looks to be about 91 in Demopolis, and we should get about right at 90 degrees there over at Livingston. Montgomery about 91 as well. As we come across and we look at what's happening for the next 6 to 10 days, a tad bit cooler as we see this 90-degree weather right now. We're starting to see that warm front move into the west side of Mississippi and more heavier, hotter weather back out west toward Texas, making its way toward the Mississippi side. As you'll see here, starting in California, this will make its way towards us eventually as well over the next couple of weeks. We'll watch that. Now, here's our forecast, and this is what we've got lined out today as we come across to take a look. 40% chance of showers today. This will most likely happen after 10 o'clock today, high around 90. Not huge chances, but we'll get a shower or two. Tonight, still a 40% chance of showers. Thunderstorms should end before 10 o'clock. 72 for the low. Tomorrow, you're going to get wet. Just plan on it. An 80% chance of showers. And this should happen right after lunch tomorrow. About 1 o'clock is when the storms will roll into our area. By Wednesday night, we'll take a dip, get back down to a 40% chance of showers. And it should end by 1 a.m. It'll be kind of cloudy for the rest of the night, about 71 for a low. As we roll into Thursday, a 70% chance of showers. And again, it will be afternoon showers. By Friday, we decrease, getting better to a 40% chance by the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, it looks like we might get by with only a smidgen of a chance of rain. 20% on Saturday, only a 10% on Sunday. As we look ahead through August the 23rd, still rain chances every day. They're not huge, but look at our highs. Still hovering somewhere in between 86 to 92. That's not horrible for August at all. Scattered showers here and there. Let's look at that. What happens with our fishing forecast? We'll find out in just a moment. Well, let's go ahead and look at it. Chet's Paint and Body tells us August the 9th today, it looks like our best chances of first major time, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock today if you're going to go fishing. The wind's going to be calm and south around 5 miles an hour. So not bad fishing there. But as we look back at this, we're watching this closely. Over the next 5 days, this has a 40% chance of developing. Now, everything that I've read so far and studied up on says that once it reaches in here and takes this northwest turn, that it will start to fade and break up. It's Mother Nature. That's just forecasting. That could change, and as always, we'll watch that closely and let you know. Lots to do this morning. We'll be in touch with officials to find out what's going on out at Delwood with the wreck that has just happened. I know authorities are en route. A car rollover has happened there, as we learned just a moment ago. And details coming soon as to what we can learn about this morning. Be safe, be careful no matter where you're going, and we'll be here to fill you in on the ins and outs of what happens in our community and nation. We'll be back live in roughly 1 hour and 2 minutes from now. Come join me. Candace will be here. We'll be live on television as well. Fox 30 is where you'll find us if you want to see us on the big screen. We'll see you soon, all here from the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all so much.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: